3850, number 2, source 3900.
Sure to stay tuned. Yo, what's the dilly? What's the dilly? We back again with another hot topic for the motherfucking. No, I'm just bullshitting. Another hot topic though. What up, Tada?
What's poppin'?
Yo, they done reopened the Tupac case.
They done reopened or
reopened it. Yeah, they reopened that, and it's like 27 years later. It's a long time later, so they've been sitting on something.
I don't think they been sitting on it. I think somebody been blocking that outlet to get justice. I think they've been known. If Keefe D saying what he's saying now, this ain't the first time it's been said. I just think that now people listening. Can we say that? People actually listening now.
Yeah, they beat the rug and something came out. You know, a lot of dust. You know, a lot of people told a lot of wrong stories just to get the right one out there, and it's still not out there, but it's enough where they reopened it and they took him to jail. It wasn't just, oh, we gonna raid your house. This nigga was still staying in Vegas. Like, shit.
Yeah, if he did it, then his name fit him. Did he?
Oh,
did he do it?
Did he do it?
Did he do it?
No, see, we
he did it.
Well, with
allegedly.
Diddy, yeah, allegedly. With Diddy, it's crazy because they asked him about that. I think this is what Diddy said about the Tupac incident.
You know, we don't talk about things that are nonsense. We don't even entertain nonsense, my brother. So we not even going to go there.
Yeah, so that's what he had to say. And that was on the Breakfast Club, which is on the network that he owned, which is Revolt. So that person really didn't want to ask him the question, but it was so hot of a topic. And this video is 7 years old. So every year they stayed on it. So right now, Diddy in the hot seat because his name keep popping up. His name just keep popping up. And where there's fire, there's smoke. But everything that's really connected to Diddy is just not, you know, is just hearsay. You know what I mean? So.
Okay. It can be considered hearsay, but Keefe D was arrested, and he may still be incarcerated without bond due to the fact that he's a flight risk.
Yeah, I tell you this though, they never letting that man out of jail. They waited too long to get him,
and they shouldn't if he's guilty. And if they have him, he just and if he and the person whom he's saying allegedly did it, he just as guilty as the man who actually did it. Plot, murder for hire.
But if you was a
delete it.
If you was a fan of the music and if you followed the music it was always hidden messages and hidden shots to other crews in the music, and that was one of the slick things to hip hop. Like now, is flooded with new songs, but back then you would get an album and you would listen to it front and back, and then certain songs they'd take certain shots, and then like with Diddy and the Black Rob, that was something he took a shot, and it could have been that pocket, couldn't he? But he was saying he would put $1 million on it, and he said he would get people family erased and birth certificates deleted and these things, and we know that they do use your lyrics against you if you a producer, okay, if you're a rapper, right, and you writing rhymes, they will potentially use those rhymes against you. Been shown, you know what I mean? P. Diddy, we don't consider him a rapper. He's a executive producer, but he always wanted yeah on the track and take writer credits. So now, I guess these things that you said on there, you will have to take credit for. You know what I mean? You will have to stand on that.
Yeah.
Whether they true or not, you said it.
Yeah. Yep. No matter who he wants to be at this point. Sean Combs, a.k.a. Puff Daddy, a.k.a. P. Diddy, a.k.a. Brother Love. Like, he keeps reinventing himself, probably running from those skeletons, you know, running from those nightmares that he be having about the way he mistreated people, you know. That's why you be careful for what you ask for, you know. He want the fame and the fortune, he got it all, but what comes with that? What price do you have to pay? And is it worth it?
Well, you know, a lot of people gunning for him. When you start running out of money, they start turning on you. You know, Keefe D, he was supposed to receive $1 million, supposedly. And the $1 million got intercepted, or the person who was supposed to deliver it kept it and bought a nightclub, supposedly the Zip Code Club. And right now, it's like they got enough information to get Keefe D. Keefe D gonna turn. That nigga 60. He gonna turn. He turning.
He's already turned. That's why Diddy name is all over the news. You know they looking for you, or they almost on their way.
Yeah, the
almost on their way.
Get your story together. Get your lawyers.
All of them need to move on in with you, cause they coming.
So he recently gave a lot of his artists, or all his artists, they publishing stuff back after all these years. So like, it's really not worth nothing. But upon taking those publishing, it was agreements made that you couldn't like badmouth him or anything like that. And Mace was one of those people who took that money or took the publishing, because he got a lot of hits with Bad Boys. So not all the artists, all their music is not popping, but a lot of songs that Mace did for Bad Boy was popping. He kept Bad Boy afloat at that time, so he can't even badmouth him when they asking questions about this. He can't even really say what he wanted to say.
You know what? He said enough already. He can sit back and watch what he know unfold. He knows something too, you know, so he don't need to badmouth him at this point, because if Diddy did what they say he's done, then it's time for him to...
Time for him to pay, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know, but
yeah,
you know.
It is.
Now, just think with this, though. With Diddy, say if they do get Diddy, who will Diddy potentially bring down in his, you know what I mean? If he like, I ain't going, and then they find something on him and they got him, now he's going.
Somebody going with him.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's going to be like a domino effect.
It's like that chain link.
But Keefe D known for lying. So, like, his credibility shot. So
it?
Will they bring Suge out? You know, it's a lot of people.
Suge gonna get time served. Suge coming home. You know, that's why he laughing now. He was laughing then. Because he knew. I don't think Suge had anything to do with that.
Everybody put it on Suge.
I don't think Suge, and that's why I don't think Suge had anything to do with it.
You know? Everybody went like, initially, we didn't have internet back in, well, it wasn't like that. In 96, it wasn't no internet like that. So it was just,
AOL out back then?
Maybe, but I'm just saying, like, it was all an assumption that Tupac was set up by Suge. That was the assumption. And then when you start hearing these different stories and then you start putting the pieces together. And one of the things that I did put together, that I put together years ago watching this interview, and I'm like, I can't believe this nigga saying this and still free. It was an interview Keefe D did, and they asked him, y'all can look it up. He said, Mike Tyson want 5 minutes with Tupac's killer. And he said, Mike Tyson better stick to boxing. He don't want to do nothing with me. Keefe D, he didn't
Was that
say,
on Vlad?
I think it
was that a Vlad interview?
He said it on Vlad and the Art of Dialogue. But my point being is, he didn't say you Keefe D, he said Tupac killer. But since you took credit for it, that's like telling on yourself what I was saying, you did it. It's a lot of things. You the only person alive. How did you manage to get yourself locked up at 60? Like, ain't nobody telling on you. You telling this story, and now it's just, for these little $10,000 you getting to reiterate this Pac story, thinking you got immunity, you locked up. But he said he made another thing, another vlog talking about if they came and got him. So he already knew he might potentially go. He said, what would they do if they came and locked you up? He's like, shit, I'm 60, man. I ain't got nothing to lose. So he already know.
He could feel it. You can feel when something's gonna happen. You may not know what it is, but you can feel when something's gonna happen.
Speaking on that, let me look this up. You talking? Keep talking. I'm gonna just look up this.
I just feel like, you know, for those who were either Tupac or Diddy fans, family, loved ones, whatever, this right here had to hit hard, you know, and everybody around them knew something. And it took all these years to begin to see justice. And not only that, people tried years before, but they would disappear.
This interview right here, this nigga had, look at his face on this interview. He was like, he knew this was this was Tupac's last MTV interview.
Yeah.
And like what Tupac was saying in that interview was like, it's really not no beef. It's just one person going against another one and people choosing sides. Basically what he was saying. And he was saying that the media taking it and they running with it. Mm-hmm. So that's what was wrong with it. It was the magazines. So it wasn't the internet per se. It was magazines back then. They was misprinting and going to one coast, getting the story, and then it might get twisted by the time it get back. That they might have squashed it. That interview, the magazine come out a month later. So it's just a whole pot of trouble, you know. And it was real tension back then. Like, you was hearing about mad different stories about artists getting hurt traveling to different coasts. So it's different now, but this particular interview, Snoop knew. And if you look at the story he tell about Nas and Tupac meeting, and if you look that up, if you look up Nas said kind of didn't go like that, and he wasn't there when they met. He said they met at the park, but they did meet. But Snoop got that story wrong, so he'll change his story a lot of times though. But Snoop, he managed to escape through, barely escaped.
I don't think he escaped either. I think if he had anything to do with it, then he too will be exposed. You know, we are in the Great Awakening, the season of exposure. And a lot of people are being exposed for who they really are, not for who we thought they were.
But
Okay.
you know, one thing about Snoop, as this all unfold 27 years later, you real close to Tupac, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why you didn't comment, do an interview, say nothing, tweet, nothing?
He had a choice.
He ain't silent.
He had a choice.
Who throwing stuff? I know how people get. Yeah, but that was crazy. Tupac was one of the greatest though, and Diddy, they for some reason his name keep coming up. Huh?
That was our son.
Go check on him. Yeah. Diddy do it. You know, 50 Cent double down. So it's going back and forth. And, you know, you got a lot of people bringing his name into it. So eventually he will have to speak on it. And knowing Diddy, he will not go into detail, you know, because the more he go into detail, the further he implement himself. So, and then it's another guy. It's another guy who really been on the internet making noise, and he was telling, and his story never changed. And his story never changed. His name Gene Deal. This guy right here, and I find him to be quite credible. Just listening to him. And, you know, it's years later. This guy telling the same story with the same details. And, you know, he even have more stories and more different things that he might expose later, like he does have a book. So it's different stories. Now that we got the internet, you got stories coming out from everywhere. And if you listen to these stories, they kind of intertwine and they connect because it's all involving the same people. So yeah. And from the way he tell it, the East Coast West Coast beef was more or less Suge and Puffy versus everybody thinking it's Pac and Big. You know, so Suge and Puffy had it popping though. They got into it at a Jermaine Dupri. That's another person, Jermaine Dupri. He had a party where Suge and Puffy maybe had a dispute, and one of the guys from BMF. It was just a lot. You gotta look that up. So that story kind of intertwines the beef between Suge and Puff, and going from there, Suge has his label, Puff has his label. Their main artists are Tupac and Biggie Smalls. Tupac ends up getting shot in New York. Biggie Smalls is at the studio. He doesn't know what's going on because Puffy is there with some other guys on a different floor. Gotta read that whole story. So Tupac think Biggie has something to do with it. So he's attacking them on music tip, and Biggie, he chooses not to. They say not to, but he had the song "You Shot Ya," and the timing of that song was so fucked up. And then I knew, everybody in the fucking world knew he shouldn't have went to Cali. Like, that's the last place he should have went, and then having the song going back to Cali. So yeah, man, y'all check that out. Y'all do y'all research, but look up Gene Deal. look up the story with Jermaine Dupri, the birthday party, and you could draw your own conclusions on what you believe. But this is a big mystery. So, you know, at the end of the day, you know, they own it. So, peace. We out with another one.